Let's also see the reaction that the stock of RPG Life Sciences is having to their quarterly numbers. A quick look at those numbers. Net sales are up over 20%, net profit up 40%, but their operating profit margins have slipped a bit. Joining me right now is Ajit Singh Chauhan, the Managing Director at RPG Life Sciences. Mr. Chauhan, many thanks for joining in. If we can begin with you elaborating about how the last quarter has been for you in terms of business, please.
A very promising quarter. As you can see, our net sales has grown 22% and the net profit has grown almost 40% from 2.8 crores to 3.9 crores. You also did mention the compression at the operating profit levels. This is an investment into the future that we are making. We very strongly decided to grow our formulations team to cater to the Indian markets, which is up from the beginning of the year at about 325. That team has grown up to about 520, and we intend to grow that further. That's reflected in the operating expenditure, therefore seeing a 2% drop at the operating profit levels. But correspondingly in formulations, we have had a 22% increase in our revenues. So it's already yielding dividends. So we have had a fairly promising quarter.
Okay, you've already mentioned that that cost that you've incurred is yielding dividends. If you were to take this forward to say the entire fiscal year, where do you see your top line and bottom line?
We're growing strongly at 22%. We do expect to carry this momentum right through the year.
Okay, so about 22% is where you expect to end the year as well. Can we talk about your export markets this quarter? How were they?
The exports in terms of our bulk drugs has done very well in this quarter. It's also backed by new product introductions in the bulk drugs, which has yielded dividends, and therefore you see the profitability that we see. Also in terms of our generics, we are expanding in Europe. We had a presence in UK, France and the Czech Republic, and we are close to adding the Germany, Poland and the Greece markets. From our existing market in Europe, we have had a fairly strong order bookings coming in.
Okay. Recently we had Petrochem International hiking stake in the company. Mr. Chauhan, any possibility of an open offer that one might expect? If so, can we look at any kind of indication as to the price band?
We don't expect that in the future. These were warrants which were issued in the past, which have now been paid up. Therefore, our promoter holdings in the company is at 51% at this point in time.
And that's where you're expecting it to stay for the next few quarters?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Chauhan, for joining in with those details. So that's RPG Life Sciences. The stock is down 3% this morning after those numbers came out. Let's get some analyst calls also in on that stock if you've been holding that one at all. Ankit, morning. I'll begin with you. RPG Life Sciences, please. Right, we'll try and reconnect with Ankit in just a bit, but let me begin with Lance in that case. Lance, morning, welcome to the show. Can we begin with your call on RPG Life Sciences, please?
Well, RPG Life Sciences has been showing some traction in the last, 2-3 quarters, and so it is in a good space, but the price has also moved up correspondingly. So I think it needs to show some sustainability of earnings growth before people will make it a serious part of their portfolio.
Okay, we just heard the MD there talk about how they are quite confident about of about 20% top line growth through this fiscal. Would that be a satisfactory level for you at the end of the year?
Yes, I think if it grows at around 20-25% and they can sustain it for the foreseeable future, it would be reasonably good growth for the company.
Okay. So for now, if anyone is holding that stock, is that a hold for?
Yeah, I think you should hold and wait and watch and see how the growth pans out, and then after that you can decide whether to add more to the portfolio or just keep it in place.
Okay, fair enough. A hold for now on fundamental lines. Hitesh, morning. What's the technical call then on RPG Life Sciences, please?
I also believe that normally it is attracting lower volume. Sometimes it sporadically some volumes are high, but otherwise I would suggest that for investment purpose one can hold, but one should keep a stop loss of 95. If it goes below 95, one should exit. Otherwise it is moving near all-time high levels. So I think one should hold.
Okay, so it's a hold from both my analysts on RPG Life Sciences. Wait and watch to see if those profits and sales growth can be sustained. Ankit, can we get a check from you as well? RPG Life Sciences is what we're talking about.
Hello?
Yeah, RPG Life Sciences, Ankit, what's your call on it, please?
RPG Life Science, see, I feel one can exit at these levels and possibly enter at a little lower level, because I don't think fundamentally this company would be very strong. There are some other peers where one can definitely look for investing into. Although the profits posted by them have been good, but I feel it is a good level for them to exit and possibly enter, say, if at all he has to be in the same stock, at around 10% down from here.
Would you want to name a couple of peers perhaps that one can look at?
I think one can check on, shares like Suven Life Science or somebody.
Okay, fair enough. Let's move on then to Gujarat State Fertilizers and Chemicals.